Let me run some more crazy trade ideas by you that I see floating around. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Seahawks Digest, the show that is a little bit pissed that as I literally was loading the graphics into OBS, I saw that the Koshla Group bought the Seahawks. So I'm just going to include that here at the front. Congrats to our new owner. I did a video 18 hours ago on my opinions on them, and that all stands. And if you want to go watch that, you can check it out. But I think we got a pretty sweet deal for he got a pretty sweet deal. We got a pretty sweet deal. I think it works out for everybody. On this one, though, I want to continue to razzle and dazzle you with what some of the NFL insiders are saying about alleged blockbuster trades the Seahawks could be in position to make. And this time it's going to be the non-Max Crosby edition, even though Max Crosby is mentioned in this article. We're kind of, at this point, I don't need to do more videos on him. It's kind of even being shoved down my throat. When we go through all of this, though, we'd love to hear from you guys. You help me see the game of football a lot better. You know what else we always got to do is a really, really fast Prize Picks ad read. They're the best, or the number one sports pick app in America. Best way to get into the action right now, if you use the code DIGEST, you get $50 and play first $5 in lineups. Okay, where do you think that this is going? Because if I'm already talking about Max Crosby, there seems to be some implicit just need to be like, oh, we have to keep up with the Joneses, and the fact that the Rams added Myles Garrett, and it's just like, oh my gosh, how are we going to counter that? Well, we better counter it with our own defensive edge rushing pass monster. And Max Crosby, that's where I said I feel like he's kind of getting shoved down the throat, because it makes sense with the Raiders trying to get rid of him and Seahawks being a recipient of that. I talked about all of those. What I had not thought about, though, before reading this was Kayvon Thibodeau from the Giants. And that is partially because I don't trust very much from either of the New York football. I guess the Buffalo Bills are also a New York football team, but you get what I'm saying. I don't trust the Giants or the Jets particularly to be good at drafting or developing talent right now, but I think that also might be mismanagement of talent. So in thinking about it a little bit more, this one did kind of pique my interest, and the rationale presented in this article also kind of interesting, that he's in the final year of his contract. So this could be something where we get a guy who it's maybe on the outside looking in within the Giants organization because of the other talent, such as Abdul Carter, that they have amassed, Brian Burns. Like, the Giants got a pretty full house that if there's a guy who's at the end of his contract, it doesn't feel like we need to leverage the house for him. We've talked a lot about how there are a plethora of ample amounts of draft picks that we can trade in any number of rounds, and this feels like a second round, third round. I don't want to overly predict what the actual price for Thibodeau could be, but I dig that, actually, in the fact that it, like, Crosby is big in, so need to get a big out. If we could go little in to get potentially little out, but then also hedge the bet that if he fits here, he's already in the door and we can re-sign or extend him after the season, then we could be talking about like little in with big out. So I'm actually more into this first trade idea than I had been when I was initially kind of scrolling through the articles this morning, trying to figure out what to talk about. Like I said, Max Crosby was another one in this article. So jumping to number 3, this one I was kind of like, well, I had not even thought about something like this. Alvin Kamara. What do you guys like? I'm super curious what the initial reaction here is. I feel like this gives away Sports Illustrated as being slop that doesn't necessarily do a ton of insider research like their prestige brand name would suggest. But they talk about a questionable running back situation, just, dismissing Price, Holani, Wilson. I get the lack of establishment with the names of Price, Holani, and Wilson. That could be a mid-tier law firm for all any of us know, as opposed to a quality running back room. It's got the same kind of ring to those names. But I also, given that Sharps is coming back, I am hesitant to go out and add anything else to that equation right now. You only got one ball. You can only give so many touches. And if Sharps is coming back, like, there's already reports that he's like ahead of schedule and healing really well. I'm not going to say if he comes back week 1, like, then you really don't need him. Let's just say if he comes back by, like, let's call it week 6. Do you want to get into a situation where you underdeveloped your rookies or your younger guys and you really held their development and progression back and didn't take a chance on seeing what you have, just to be like, okay, Alvin Kamara, come in here and we're going to squeeze every last little bit of football talent out of you to make this work? And then once Sharps comes back, we're going to have the two of you and then Price, and well, we have also got Helani. I get the desire to bring in a brand name, and I'm not dismissing that Kamara isn't good, but is he good for us right now in this situation? I would say not. Like I said, curious to hear from all of you guys. Drop comments on all of these. The Kayvon Thibodeau one, though, I think is the sneaky good takeaway that to me feels like a quality John Schneider sort of pickup. Maybe you even let that one linger a little bit to see how the Giants season goes for a couple of weeks. And as it starts to deteriorate, his value goes up and up, or his value goes up to us, but the cost for him goes down, down, down as he winds up, a couple weeks into his last season with an underperforming Giants team that doesn't need an additional edge rusher and somebody who can then come in and be part of a vicious rotation for us. Just saying, kind of interested in it. I don't hate it. Like I said, let me know what you think. Also, let me know what you think on Koshla and the new ownership. Before we get out of here, I always got to say one more thank you to Prize Picks, the sponsor for today's video, and the #1 sports pick app in America, the best way to get in on the action. And right now, if you want to get in on the action, you can use the code DIGEST, DIGEST. They'll hook you up with $50 when you play your first $5 in lineups. They got a bunch of stuff going on also for returning users. Taco Tuesday, all Tuesday, every Tuesday. Their board is serving up discounted projections, and then you can close out your week with Flex Fridays. Use your Flex Friday bonus to boost your payouts by up to 40%. Thank you very much, Prize Picks, for being a sponsor of the channel. Code DIGEST when you sign up, DIGEST. All right, that's what I got for you today, Seahawks fans. With the ownership thing now done, I think we're like the last of the nonsense of the offseason has now happened, and it is back to football. So big day for all of us. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you next time.